free. Do you like free things? I love free things. Everything about Enfield is free. So the gacha. I'm not going into that. You can argue about this. I'm here to talk to you about the free characters in Enfield. Okay, you've probably seen the 4 stars. For those who are new to Enfield as a whole and come from the other gacha games, I'm referring to characters that literally come on your account the moment you do a pull. They are the equivalent of the 3-star fodder weapon in every single other game. And in this game, they're actually good. But you'll have every single one of these characters max potentialed, max copies, everything like that, as soon as you do probably 30 pulls, right? And your account's going to do 30 pulls on it. Unless you want to be one of those guys who don't pull at all, which is also fine. A little bit masochistic, but it's fine. But anyway, let's talk about them. But before I do that, I just want to quickly say thank you everyone for the support in the previous video. 5k views, people are pretty happy to talk about the whole ideology of playing a video game for being a video game and not the gacha side of things. So appreciate that. If you want to leave a like and subscribe on this one too, completely up to you. I'll let you be the judge if I am worth your time. Now, to the whole point of the video, so I can stop yammering. These 4 characters you see. So in total, this game has quite a few day ones. A lot more than mainly 90% AAA gachas. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23 characters if you count them in. 24 if you count both genders, I guess. But that is a lot for a day 1. Now, 5 of these characters are 3-star, 4-star. They are 4 stars, 3 stars for the sake of the argument. People come from 5-star games. I'm not going to say that any longer. So these are the 4-star characters. You have Akuri, Antel, Kacha, Estella, and Fluorite. Now, there is one here which is unfairly better than everyone else. And that's my boy Antel. He has a dastardly kit, a disgusting synergy with pretty much anyone in the game. You could use him in just about any slot, which makes it pretty good to invest in. So Antel, this guy right here. If you look, I'm going to get cooked for using Pride when I'm putting the tier list. You see at the top there, it's irrelevant. We don't talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. He is legitimately, though, actually that good. I use him a little bit in the beta here and there. And yeah, I have first-hand experience with, bro, it is good. His whole kit. Now, I'm gonna do my best to kind of explain why these characters are good and how they are actually usable and not just cannon fodder because you're gonna get them 10 billion times as best I can. So I think the best thing about Antel is probably hands down the ultimate, the whole idea of the ultimate. So the moment you rip that, you get 100 electric. Oh, sorry, not 100. It costs energy 100, as every ult does. Applies temporary electric amp and heat amp to the entire team. The whole entire team, if they are electric or fire in particular, get a buff. It's not also a small buff, by the way. Especially in gachas where most fights are in and out in 30 seconds, his uptime on this is 28% amplification on both elements, and then duration 12. Now, it is worth noting this is always at a rank 12. This is at max rank. With lower end characters, it shouldn't be too bad or too hard to get to, but you can still kind of do the scaling back, so to speak, to see what you'd be getting at. With what, let's say probably day 1, day 2, you'd be looking around rank 6 on these kind of things if you really did want to push that. It'd be probably 8 seconds on a 20%, 8 seconds on an 18%, something like that, which is still a lot, mind you, which is a lot. I'm not going to talk about basic attacks because they are the same with every character. They give you 15 stagger on Final Strike gives you SP is skill points, and you need those. You only get 3 per fight at the start, and then they regen as you do the fight. Quicker using characters, I digress, talk about it later. But his battle skill as well. Specified Research Project. Applies focus with a long duration on the enemy and deals electric damage. An enemy with an active focus also suffers electric susceptibility and heat susceptibility. Focus can be applied to one enemy at a given time. So that's probably the only downside to his kit, is he is like a bit of a 1-unit Hail Mary. Granted, the ultimate overclock is applying to every character that is fire and electric in your team. But if you want to double down, like 4x that, you kind of have to be in a boss situation, which I would say is probably almost a good thing. With there are a few boss fights in this game. Very farmable, very farmable. And with the end game, with the way they kind of paint it for us, there are going to be boss killer requirements. I know uttering boss killer in the big 2026 is like PTSD for arknights fans, but it's a phrase for a reason. Also his combo skill, which if you guys don't actually know what a combo skill is the event of when a character has a trigger inside their actual kit, which stems off someone else doing something or even themselves doing something. So you can see it right here. Triggers one energy explosion on the enemy that deals electric damage and applies another stack of the same physical status or arts infliction. So doubles down on the stat. And the way you get this to proc is when an enemy with active focus suffers a physical status or arts infliction. For those who want that extrapolated, arts infliction is when you have art debuffs inflicted upon the enemy. There are 4 different types, blah, blah, blah. Up to 4 stacks of arts infliction of the same element can be applied. So pretty much people in their kits will have the ability to do inflictions. So I guess the only negative, another negative you could say with Antel is his physical status and arts inflictions are only procced due to infliction of someone else doing it. There is no native way to do it in their actual kit, which is something a lot of characters have. But again, you have to bear in mind, these are 4 stars. Totally free. Have them jacked in your account from day 1, maybe day 2. You just have to put the small amount of materials into them to make them decently usable. And the physical status refer to the physical debuffs applied to the enemy. They include lift, knockdown, crush, and breach. Which, I just want to tell you guys right now, if you don't know anything about the kit system in this game, lift is probably, for me, the most broken one there is. So if you can stack lift off running some Antel builds, you are going to have a great time. And also, just to give you guys a quick idea, I did run up a bit of a team idea. Where are we? This team is entirely free to play, and you may be thinking, Max, there is a clear 6-star in there. If you guys didn't watch that live stream, Adalia is free. Thank you, Griffline, for your services. But hey, if you want the other side of the coin where you start playing this game in like March or something like that, then yeah, put a Jair in there. She's free. It is what it is. Splitting hairs. But this team would be lethal. You have double skill point regen, amazing healing, like best tier in the game healing if you really want to put it like that. She'd be pretty close to the best, if not the best. And then Antel for the constant proccing, right? Because as you remember from his kit, electric amp, heat amp. So the big one there is you're going to get a lot of bonus damage from these 2 in particular when you're running an Antel ultimate. So Antel is, yeah, it's probably the GOAT. In terms of the 4-star sides of people, usability-wise, he goes in any team that has electric or heat in it. Even then, if you wanted to stretch it, you could probably run him in something else. But you would lose a lot of the potency he has, so to speak. But enough of that boy. Now to move on. To move on to someone I alluded to before. The SP battery herself, Akuri. Akuri is good, dude. She is something unbelievable. So I will say off rip with her ultimate, it's probably, it's not useless, but a lot of people expect damage. She is a prime battery in the truest sense, or battery, wherever you're from, where she just generates. So her whole entire kit is based around her ultimate, which is Squad on Me, okay? Enters a channeling state and fires 3 rallying flares, each firing recovers some skill points. At max, it is a full skill point. Even not at max, when you ripple 3, it's like, it's decent enough to be close to like a third. Like, close to like 2/3, something like that. You start get a bit of a diminishing returns, you can run it a bit lower, it's really fine. Also, something I forgot to mention with Antel is the potentials. So you're going to have every potential in the game for these characters because, again, you get absolute infinite quantity with them. They come in droves. Why is no app about putting up? I didn't even speak English. You get these players in such quantity, they just come out in droves. You have an infinite supply of these, you will get all of these. So bear these in mind. 10%. When you recover skill points, you get 10% bonus attack, and it can stack 5 times. Huh? Not to mention extra agility, intellect, which are base stats in the game, which, yeah, they're helpful. Not an amazing upgrade. Ultimate Squad on Me improved. While Ultimate is active, entire team gains attack plus 10%. That is a big one. P4 being Ultimate as well, back-to-back Ultimate boosts. Energy cost minus 10%, and talent staying in the zone improved. Even when the Ultimate ends, the link buff persists for an extra 5 seconds. So her combat talent staying in the zone. Next battle skill ultimate cast by the teams consume the link buff and deal more damage. With battle skills getting a higher increase, effects of the same type can stack, but with diminishing returns. So it's a little bit vague on like numbers here, but if you really want to min-max your team and like lock down to who's doing what and everything like that, I would say this would be a lead on someone like a Leviathan, e.g. Sutra, if it is something that is on ultimate cast in perpetuity versus like an actual nuke hit. But either way, it does sound really good. Now getting back to our actual skills, because we did go to the ultimate, deviated. Her main battle skill, Burst of Passion, is a skill point and a frontal slash that deals heat damage and implies infliction. That very same infliction that I was mentioning in the arts infliction from Antel. So you can force heat infliction here from skill. Guaranteed. You can do it up to 4 times, and if you do it with any other element, it instantly gives you a reaction, e.g. combustion. Which I don't think I need to explain to you guys this. We've all played element-based games. When you combine element 1 with element 2, you get fusion element reaction, does a ton of damage. Pretty simple stuff. And now the combo skill can be triggered by when someone gets staggered. So when someone's fitness bar essentially hits 100, or the stagger bar I should probably say, instantly good to go. And a stagger node, I don't know what this is. Some powerful enemies have stagger nodes, deal enough stagger to reach a stagger node to interrupt such enemies, make them stumble. Ah, okay, so it's like a mini stagger break. Okay, so it's a pretty easy stagger. The condition here, the win condition for a combo skill here is very, very simple. So overall, you would be using a Akuri with the ideas of heat infliction guarantees on her skill, fuse that in with the ability of SP regen spam, and obviously like stagger spamming too. Can you see why this free goat team is starting to kind of make sense, right? You have the battery, the perpetuity skill point regen here that has stagger, which has stagger infliction as a combo break, and you have also arts infliction as a stagger. So the moment you hit an Akuri skill, it will then trigger Antel's. If you have an Akuri skill, it will then trigger an Antel combo skill, which then doubles down on that, because it is also gives arts infliction ×2. And then that will help regen the ult, which the ult in this situation for Antel gives amp damage to Akuri and both Wolfguard as well. Now this video is mainly about 4 stars, but Wolfguard, you get it for free as well. Granted, story-based copies and stuff like that, RNG. So I'm going to leave them out of this video for that main, guys. But if you do want 5-star based videos, I can get something out as soon as you guys are watching this. Just let me know if you want to see it. But essentially, you have a fiery infinite fuel source. You have a perpetual motion machine of just SP in an Akuri build. Now, those two are probably by far and wide the GOATs. I would say the next best, if I had to say, was Estella. Estella she's good. She can be used. If you're in the event of missing a sub DPS or needing, say, cryo reaction, she works. She works to a level and extent. And let me tell you why. So, Tremolo, it is a low-cost energy, e.g. very easy to farm and proc. Estella expends all of her strength to unleash a powerful slam of the spear shaft, dealing fizz damage to all enemies in a circular area around itself. To enemies with physical susceptibility, the skill forcibly applies lift to them, which again, lift is so goddamn good. For those who don't know physical susceptibility, physical susceptible targets temporarily take more physical damage. The number represents the degree of increase effects with the same target stack. Lift applies vulnerable to the enemy. If the enemy is already vulnerable, add 1 stack of vulnerable and deal physical damage and stagger. And vulnerability, if you are running the Endmin, which I'm assuming a lot of people are going to do because it is the main character, is such a cheat code. It is so unfair how good it is. Pretty much every base team you'll run in this game, going on a quick little diatribe, is going to be Chen and Endmin. It will never be anybody else. These two work so well together. They are like the peanut butter to jelly. They are like the ham and the cheese. They are so unfairly built to be in the same team at all times. It's actually kind of hilarious. Because Chen just infinite vulnerability stacking machine, and then Endmin is a vulnerability punishing machine, turning those vulnerabilities into massive damage. You see where I'm going with this. But again, combo skill is when an enemy suffers solidification, which can be a little bit harder to prop. Like, admittedly, it probably is, I wouldn't say it's a hard thing to proc, but you have to really build around it. So the way you hit solidification is an enemy with solidification cannot move, and applying vulnerable or a physical status to the enemy triggers a shatter effect. A non-cryo infliction and cryo infliction equals solidification, which, if you want to use fire, can work. if you really wanted to do something like this, I would recommend, I mean, honestly, if we want to go back to this, you could, if you wanted to do it that badly, you could take out Akuri. Yeah, you lose skill point regen and you get the Wolf Guard, and Wolf Guard himself, I'm not mentioning it, he is a skill point battery to an extent as well here. So this is like infinite skill point team. You lose a bit of that if you want to swap out Akuri for Estella. But it would work, not as potent, but it would work, and you will get solidifications. And now the dupes. The dupes are the thing that's always interesting here. Dupe 1 is you get extra stability by 3 seconds on skill, which is decent. Tremolo improved, it costs 10% less, so it will be a 63 energy cost, which is, you would be able to rip this thing probably every single fight. Close to. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Maybe every second fight if you're overward, but like every long-winded like endgame fight stuff, you could probably get a few of these off. P3, battle skill, automatic PR improved, freezing sound, wave range plus 50%. So the actual landing area from when you hit the spear on the ground is much bigger, and plus 40% to the first enemy hit. Now, in the event of boss fights, this is goated. In like mob-based fights, I guess it's all right. Granted, only one person gets it out of the 4 to 6 that you might actually hit. Still not terrible though. A little bit of couple substat buffs here in P4, and then P5 is when solidification is applied, 5 ultimate energy. So you have a super cheap ultimate, Tremolo, at 63 at the P5, and you're actually going to be getting a shortcut to build here. Can only trigger once every 1 second. I guess that's to prevent the event of AoEing like 5 people and just having it good to go. But you would have a really short turnaround on this ultimate Tremolo. This will be running a lot, okay? A lot. So she is good. She is very good. You would use Estella for solidification ultimate spamming. You could almost kind of treat it sub DPS if you really wanted to. And she's a bit of a wombo combo. So everything isn't cryo, as you can see from the kit. It is also physical. So it would kind of work. I'm really just leaking my wallpaper here. It would kind of work in the Forbidden Endmin build. Like, this would legitimately be a viable team here. Shen, Endmin, Estella, and Ardelia. Actually, what is Ardelia's proct? How do can you proc Nature Witcher? Because if so, then this works, but I'm not sure. Wait, Ardelia doesn't have Nature Infliction? Oh, it's okay. Maybe it's a little bit chopped here. Maybe that's not the best team. Look, I would say in turn you could probably run Jai, but I think overall I can't even tell you a lie here that this team would actually be goated. It kind of suffers from the lack of separate ability here, because you don't get element inflictions from physicality in this game. If you wanted to tune this team more, you could probably swap out the Antel for Estella here, and you would still have a very viable option. That might work. That might work. I'm here to give you the individual pieces. I have a couple team examples. I didn't come here with an encyclopedia. I do apologize. But moving on, Catcher. Catcher is probably the next best pick. I'm saving the best for last year. So Catcher's ultimate is... Catcher as a base is a 22 stagger, which is much better than the 15, so always bear that in mind. Stagger comps go hard. Catcher is a shielder, so you can set from the battle skill here. Raises shield that can block attacks, grants protection to self and nearby operators, and immediately returns SP. That's nice, and when attacked while his said shield is active, perform a retaliation bash that deals physical damage. Parry. Best way to explain it, parry. After spending SP on meeting in some control, some of the SP will be returned. SP returned is not SP recovery, and do not activate SP recovery triggered effects. Worth noting for your compositions. And yeah, protection is pretty much just a, toughness buff. You can absorb a lot more hits. All right, and then the ultimate is Textbook Assault. 80 energy, which isn't too bad, admittedly. Swings the greatsword to perform 2 consecutive slashes to deal physical damage and apply Weaken, followed by a powerful downward slam that deals massive physical damage and applies knockdown to all enemies with the air effect. Hey, look, if I'm being that guy, knockdown's aight. It's fine. I don't really have too much complaints, but it ain't no lift. All right, lift is genuinely just so goddamn good in this game. I cannot stress it enough. Once you feel it, you will get what I'm saying. But still, knockdown comps, they still work. They're admirable. I'd say if you wanted to build a tank-based team, or like an aggro team where you have really good AI combo attacks and all that kind of thing with triggers for the combo skills, you'd probably be running our boy main slot. But that being said, I mean, with the stagger, you'd be a really good main slot. But I feel like you would lose a lot of DPS though. We might need to try it in game. All right, and then combo skill, timely suppression, 35-second cooldown. Takes a long ass time, and it is a powerful downward punch that deals physical damage to an enemy, granting shields to self and other teammate. Controller, operator, priority. So it's not guaranteed that it goes to the person you are running. So if you are running him, then it would go to randomly probably slot number 2 if I was to guess. A trigger is when an enemy is charging up a skill, or when the skill operator is attacked and falls below 40 HP. So, okay in bosses, but when are you really falling below 40? If you're doing this in the overworld, I have questions. Endgame, I feel like with the 35-second cooldown, this is probably going to be tough to really utilize. And then, yeah, it absorbs damage. So it's not a damage reduction like the toughness buff you get from the skill. It is shield on top, essentially. And it might be specific typed. I don't think so, though. Anyway, here's potentials. On P1, Battle Shield, Rigid Interdiction, and Ultimate Textbook Assault improved. This is the ultimate. Hitting the enemy deals another hit of damage equal to 100 plus defense times 1.3. What in the engineering bullshit is this? Stack defense-based defense. Defense-based stack, I'm assuming. Plus 20 defense, plus plus 10 will. I cannot speak right now. Unwavering Pose on P3. Combo skill, Timely Suspension improved. 5% shield duration. It's okay. Compensated Suffering. Ultimate Textbook Assault improved. Ultimate enemy energy cost minus 10%. So it goes down to about a 72. And then 3. Choice route requests. Battle skill Rigid Interdiction improved. Hitting an enemy whilst the shield is active returns 10 SP. You get 10% back for just hitting a dude. I'm assuming that's a one-time deal. If that's something you can just spam whilst it's active, you get like 4 hits off before it breaks. Although I think that's really overachieving, because if that's the case, this is almost like an infinite fucking money glitch here. But you can definitely use Catcher. Now, it probably bottom rung of the characters in the game, I would say. It is a 4-star, but again, I want to preach it like in my other videos. This game hops on ability more than anything. If you like Catcher as a character, you will legitimately have good use for him. You will just need to kind of build directly around him versus him being a slot in like an Antel. Antel fits for everything. Everything fits for Antel. Every other team comp works for Catcher, but Catcher has to be built into the team comp. You can't just throw a big dog in there. And now, as much as that wraps it up for probably a little bit of a lackluster guy, we now go to the GOAT, the best for last, Fluorite. Now, what does Fluorite do, you may ask? She's hot. She's hot. Look, I love Fluorite. You guys can probably tell from my wallpaper here. Like, she for me is the character in the game I want to just absolutely grind to max level, max everything. But she's just not really amazing. I will make her good though. Like, if you run her in first slot, you are beyond cooked. She is slower than trying to pour fucking molasses. Like, imagine if you ever try to break like an obsidian block in Minecraft with like a wooden pickaxe. That is the attack speed of Fluorite in main slot. All right. I wish I could have said it got better in supports, but it's not really the case. Anyway, look, for the boys who are going to use her for level of usability, I'm just going to read it out. Apex Prankster on the ultimate. Fluorite quickly moves in an arc and rapidly fires at the target within the arc and deals 4 sequences of nature damage. If an improvised explosive has been struck to the target, the skill detonates it immediately and increases the damage and size of the explosion. Which is good. It's fine. It is a big multiplier. You don't really get much out of this until you level like everything, which is kind of a shame, but it's really, really fine. So it has 25 stagger on it, and she only delivers 15. Bear in mind, she has such a slow main attack, it's not even funny. So I wouldn't be using I don't know where you use her. It actually bothers me that how is Catcher better? It doesn't make sense. But she's tier 0 in my eyes, guys, and I'll fucking prove it. So yeah, it worked. It's a decent damage. Again, she does give Nature Infliction on battle skill though, which, you know what, might be good for an Estella build, who knows. Tiny Surprise is a battle skill that kicks an improvised explosive that sticks to the target, applying slow and exploding after a short duration. The explosion deals nature damage and nature infliction to enemies in the area effect. Defeating the target also sets off the improvised explosive immediately. Only one improvised explosive can be present on the battlefield. Which also absolutely sucks. She'll probably get an ultra in like 3 years time and it'll be like the best character in the game, but like until then we're gonna figure something out. So it does guarantee nature infliction though, with the explosion. And as you saw here, if an improvised explosion has been stuck to a target, the skill detonates immediately. So if you skill into ultimate, it increases the damage of that original improvised explosion. And by law of nature here, it also does nature infliction too, which is such a bonus. So that's the way you would run her. You would run her to charge into skill ult. You wouldn't really use her any other way. You would have to have those, so like you have to have a skill point reserved, which you only have 3 in any given fight at max when it is full charge. and one of them has to be reserved for when this ult's ready if it is close, so you really only have 2 in the fight. There are a lot of trials and tribulations to try and make her work. I'm gonna find a way. And then, of course, the combo skill is free giveaway, 38-second cooldown. Shoots the target enemy to trigger a special explosion that deals nature damage and applies other arts inflictions of the element already on the enemy. So, yeah, it might actually be kind of good. If you had an Estella, hold on, Estella, Estella, Antel, and Fluorite might kind of be good, because if you get the nature infliction here, and then Fluorite and Antel kind of get the arts infliction stacks on top of it, that might be some serious good damage for a full free to bed team. That it's usable. How long, I don't know. But look, Fluorite for me feels like a meme character. Got like such a cool design, cool logic with like everything she does, but just feels so unbelievably chopped. Maybe potential dupe saver, okay? You get base stat buff off P1, which is ironic. That's amazing. Essentially, not going to buff anything, just make her a little bit better in base stats. P2 is the talent gets a chance to ignore arts damage plus 10%. I'm guessing that would mean like a chance to ignore arts damage. Oh, her combat talent's unpredictable. I read the wrong thing. Grants 20% arts damage immunity and grants Fluorite 10-20% attack for 10 seconds. This effect cannot stack. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Triple surprise, battle tiny, surprise improved. Explosion of the improvised explosive now slows all enemies for a hit of 6 seconds. It's okay. It might be decently usable on the slow, because if you have CC, like maybe if you get lucky and pull an Angelina, you're probably going to be genuinely great on this, because it's great CC control into the lift. But then again, Angelina has a black hole anyway, so it's kind of like, why would you bother? You can't call me biased, at the very least. I'm being brutally honest here. And ultimate apex improved, energy cost minus 10%, that's pretty standard. And combo skill free giveaway improved. Whenever cryo nature applied on an enemy, shorten cooldown by a second. Can only trigger once every 1 second. Okay, so probably like, yeah, no, it's 38 seconds, don't worry about it. Look, she's the GOAT. Distract them, disable them, or destroy them. I think her kit is distracted beyond repair. She should be down to herself in the mirror, not here. But she is the GOAT. You have to take that into account. So, the main things we have learnt today is there's some fuel here. The main GOATs being Antel, Akuri. I personally would say Estella is better than Catcher, but depending on the way you play and the team composition you build around. Also, I haven't even mentioned the equipment in this game, like the artifacts, echoes equivalent from the other games. That has skill point regen systems, everything like that. They would skew this pretty decently to make a lot of different compositions and outright interesting teams, all right? So maybe I'll mention that in the future video when we have hands-on in the game or something. Let me know what you guys want to see tomorrow. I want to get something out one more day prior, and I will be live streaming this game day 1, okay? Which is, at the time of recording this video, 36 hours-ish, something like that. So let me know if you ever want to watch by the streams live on YouTube every single day when we do them, you know where to find me. But back to avoiding the shameless plugging. Estella, for me, is better than a Catcher, and then Fluorite is the best character in the game, but they had to nerf her to the point of being the worst usability-wise, because aesthetics-wise, don't even come close, alright? TLDRs, everyone gets a free Ardelia, and that's the real embodiment of free-to-play, is it not? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Ultimately, they are legitimately usable characters, and if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. If you've gotten this far in the video, I respect you, my soldier. I salute. And yeah, join the Discord in the description, or watch us when we're live on YouTube if you want to have a chat directly about all this stuff. I want to give as much advice as possible. I'm not the most min-max adversity tower endgame grinder in the universe. I still clear it all. I just don't do the tier listing stuff. I kind of want to give you the bare bones logic, and you have fun with it yourself from there. Let's not overcomplicate shit. Just get good, alright, bucko? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.